Do you want your videos to be liked or loved? The first gets you fans, the second brings you prosperity. If that's your preference, but you can't figure out what to make a video about, this is for you. YouTube doesn't have a love button. If it did, you'd have a more accurate read on how you're doing. We'll come back to that in a minute. Right now, every video expert you can find will tell you to research your market, find the gap, and fill it with your content. Let's just set aside the fact that you might be in a niche so obscure it can barely be found in a keyword search. That's what I was facing 10 years ago and even more today. So what are you supposed to do? Go back and spend another 20 years building authority in an area that has more potential? One that will have disappeared as soon as you're ready to launch again? See, the problem with looking out there is that ultimately it doesn't make any sense. On the other hand, in your business, you get to the point where you have so much knowledge, it begins to look like wisdom to the uninitiated. To turn your back on that, to reach people who might not have any interest in what you're already doing is risky and a little unfair to yourself. What does it mean to discount your own knowledge that much, especially for the sake of likes and views? Maybe that as you are, you aren't enough? It's good for the guru, of course, for you to feel helpless, independent, but what does that feeling do to you when it's time to get on camera? Looking outside for inspiration is crippling. The problem is people don't know how to look inside. Well, maybe this will help. It's something I always do before settling on a topic. It starts with whatever I've been ruminating on that week. I could talk for another week on rumination, but for right now, let's just say it's a form of resistance. It's there to show you something about yourself you didn't know. And the best way to learn it is to teach with it. The reason this is important is that you're not the only one thinking about this. Ideas are like low-hanging clouds raining down on everyone. The first person to notice and do something with it wins, and then everyone wins because that idea was meant for everyone. That's job one. Once you notice the rumination, stop resisting and work with your new idea. But it will still be kind of personal at that stage. So job two is to relate it to what your audience is ruminating on. That means leaving some things out and putting some things in. If I make a video about green screen, my audience doesn't need to hear about the black body locus and the nanometers of blue versus green. Their eyes would glaze over. But it's not just level of knowledge. It's also perspective. So you put things in that they can use right now. And to me, that means making things simple. The thing is, simple is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most rewarding. It's how you get altitude. When you can get an idea across in a sentence versus an entire page, that's thrilling and so much better for your audience because that means you can significantly shorten the time it takes them to get a result. I'll give you an example. Just this week, I completed work on a very complex project that came from an idea about making video interactive. It's going to help the members of my new course see how they can be brilliant on camera, something that used to take about 4 weeks. However, now it takes only 5 minutes. To say I'm excited about this doesn't do justice to the idea. But do you see what's really going on here? We are trained to discount our capabilities, discount our ideas, even discount our ability to communicate. Is it any wonder we end up discounting our services? So when you make a video about something you discovered within yourself, you're doing something no amount of keyword research could ever accomplish. Keep doing that, and eventually the beginners might start doing keyword research about you. Someday YouTube may have a love button, but until then, we'll have to create the old-fashioned way by loving the topic ourselves and making it clear to our audience that it's okay for them to love it too, by being simple. Sure, the road to simple is full of potholes and hairpin turns and highwaymen. Most of the folks in your niche won't make it to the top of that hill. Their broken vehicle, left on the side of the road. But your ideas, which when you think about it, aren't really your ideas at all because they come from somewhere higher, are like your flying machine, helping you soar above the rocky road below. And isn't that why you decided it was time to become a visible authority in the first place?